All right, a state of emergency is in effect in Ottawa, Canada. That's because of ongoing protests there by truck drivers and their supporters who are upset with a COVID vaccine mandate for truckers crossing the U.S.-Canada border. The movement has virtually shut down the city and is gaining momentum and support from around the world. NBC News correspondent Ellison Barber is there. She joins us from Ottawa with the latest on this. Ellison, good morning. So first of all, a little backdrop. How did we get here, and what are the truck drivers hoping to achieve from these protests?
Hey, Joe. Yeah, this started because truckers were frustrated, some of them, and disagreed with requirements to be vaccinated in order to cross the border. If you look at some of the signs you see here that have been displayed here, you can see that this protest has expanded well beyond that one specific vaccine mandate. Speaking with people here, reading the signs, most people we have spoken to say now this is about lifting any sort of pandemic mandate or restriction. Other people have come and gotten involved in this and sort of called for various political things, but at its core, most of the people we've spoken to, they say that they will stay out here until they see the COVID restrictions, any sort of mandate, be it at a federal level or just more at a local level, lifted. This is day 11 of this protest. We spoke to one trucker this morning who said ultimately he's been at this for about 17 days because it took him days to drive here. He said he's willing to stay for months. Listen.
The whole world's watching us. I mean, Canada is one of the only countries, I think, that could have ever come together and did this and being so united that they could pull this off. Like, you know, you get some bad truckers and some good truckers. These guys are all good. Like, everybody just wants peace. They want to make this good for everybody, right? This is for the nurses and the doctors and the RCMP that have lost their jobs because they won't get vaxxed. We want them to be able to go back to work. We want people to be able to travel. We want the airplane service opened up again.
A lot of people here, when we tried to get them to talk to us, they did not want to talk to us, saying that it was an area that they didn't want to have the media. There have been points during this protest where there have been extremist racist symbols displayed, from a Confederate flag to swastikas. We haven't seen any of those here today. Mostly it is Canadian flags, signs like these. But you've had many local people, elected officials, condemn that and say that this group has become, in their view, violent, a menace to the community, and they want this entire convoy blockade to end. 80+% of truckers, by the way, are at least partially vaccinated in Canada, according to the Trucking Association here. 80+% of Canadians are fully vaccinated. So you have people like Prime Minister Trudeau saying that this is, in his view, a fringe group of Canadians.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, vaccination rates are so high in Canada, at least compared with the U.S. So how is the government reacting to everything that's been taking place?
Yeah, so Prime Minister Justin Trudeau addressed Parliament and spoke specifically about this just last night. He himself had been quarantined because of a positive COVID test last week. He says this has to stop and that the federal government is willing to provide resources to try and take care, if you will, of this situation. Listen to some of what he said.
It has to stop. The people of Ottawa don't deserve to be harassed in their own neighborhoods. They don't deserve to be confronted with the inherent violence of a swastika flying on a street corner, or a Confederate flag, or the insults and jeers just because they're wearing a mask.
So if you look down here, you can see how far this trucker convoy goes, both to the left and the right. The police chief here has said he estimates there are probably at least still 1,000 truckers here. There are not enough tow trucks, the city says, to pull any of these out. And again, people we've spoken to, they say they plan to be here as long as it takes. One trucker, when I asked him, when would you end this, he said that's up to the Prime Minister. Some local residents we've spoken to this morning, they said they want to see some sort of mediator come in to try and get this resolved, because just from a logistical standpoint, it's difficult to travel around the city right now. Joe?
All right, Ellison Barber, thank you so much, Ellison.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.